Assalamu alaikum. In this video, I will discuss the famous novel of Jane Austen, Emma. In this video, I will discuss the character of this novel, the theme, writer, and protagonist of the novel. The Emma novel is published in December 1815. The language of the novel is in English. The novel gives the image of that time marriages. The idea and conflicts of this novel is also related to the modern audience. Chapters. There are about 55 chapters in the novel. Writer of the novel. Jane Austen is the writer of the novel. Narrator. The narrator of this novel is anonymous. Genre. Comedy of manners, novel of manners, romance novel, fiction. Period. This novel is written in the early 19th century. Form. It is in a prosaic form. Characters. There are so many characters in the novel having different roles and belong to different class. And Emma. Emma Woodhouse is the protagonist of the story. She is a beautiful, high-spirited, intelligent, and somewhat spoiled young girl. She is 20 when the story opens. When her mother dies, she has been mistress of the house as her older sister got married. She loves her father very much. Although she is intelligent, but she lacks the discipline to practice or study anything in depth. She is in many ways mature, but she makes some serious mistakes, which is shown in the novel, mainly due to her lack of experience and conviction that she is always right. She has vowed that she will never marry and live with his father. She delights in making matches for others. She has a brief flirtation with Frank Churchill, but at the end of novel she realizes that she loves Mr. Knightley and marry him. Mr. Knightley. He is another important character of the novel. Mr. Knightley is a relative and close friend of Emma. He is 37-year-old. He is her only critic. Mr. Knightley is the owner of the estate of Downville Abbey, which includes extensive grounds and farms. He is the elder brother of Mr. John Knightley, the husband of Emma's elder sister Isabella. He is a very intelligent, mature, and aware of the feeling of other characters. His behavior and judgments are extremely good. Harriet Smith. Harriet Smith is a best friend of Emma. She is just 17 when the story opens. She is a beautiful but unsophisticated girl. Emma takes Harriet under her wings early on, and she becomes the subject of Emma's misguided matching attempts. She is revealed in the last chapter to be the natural daughter of a decent tradesman. Harriet marries to Mr. Martin at the end of the novel. Robert Martin. Robert Martin is a 24-year-old tenant farmer who, though not a gentleman, he is a diligent young man. He likes Harriet and wants to marry her. His first marriage proposal in a letter is rejected. Harriet under Emma's direction and influences. Emma had convinced herself that Harriet's class and breeding were above associating with the Martin, much less marrying one. But his second marriage proposal is accepted by Harriet and approved by a wiser Emma at the end of the novel. Their joining marks the first of the three happy couples to marry in the end. Another character is Elton. Philip Elton is a 27-year-old and unmarried when the story begins. He is a good-looking, initially well-mannered, and ambitious young vicar. Emma wants him to marry Harriet, but he wants to marry Emma. Elton displays his mercenary nature by quickly marrying another woman of lesser means after Emma rejects him. Frank Churchill. He is a son of Mr. Whitson by his first marriage and is an amiable young man who at the age of 23 is liked by almost everyone, though Mr. Knightley sees him as immature and selfish for failing to visit his father after his father's wedding. After his mother's death, he was raised by his wealthy aunt and uncle. Frank is given to dancing and living a carefree existence. and he is secretly engaged to Miss Fairfax. Although he fears his aunt will forbid the match because Jane is not a wealthy woman. Jane Fairfax. She is an orphan whose family consists of her auntie Miss Bates and her grandmother Mrs. Bates. She is a beautiful, bright, and elegant woman with the best of manner. She is the same age as Emma. She is extraordinarily well educated and talented at singing and playing the piano. She is the sole person whose Emma envies. The secret engagement goes against her principle and distresses her greatly. Mr. Whitson. She was the Emma's governess for 16 years as Miss Annie Taylor and remains her closest friend and confidant after she marries Mr. Whitson. She is a sensible woman who loves Emma. Mrs. Whitson acts as a surrogate mother to her former charge and occasionally is a voice of moderation and reason. The Western and the Woodhouse family sees each other almost daily. Near the end of the story, the Western's baby Anna is born. Mr. Watson, he is a widower and a businessman who marries Miss Taylor in his early age. After in his early 40s, after buying a house called Randolph's. By his first marriage, he is a father to Frank Weston Churchill, who was adopted and raised by his late wife's brother and his wife. He sees his son in London each year. He marries his first wife, Miss Churchill, when he was a captain in Amelia, posted near her home. Mr. Watson, a sanguine optimist man who enjoys socializing, making friends quickly in business and among his neighbors. Mr. Henry Woodhouse. He is the father of Emma. He is always concerned for his health. He assumed that a great thing that are his is to his health. His daughter Emma gets along with him well. He loves both his daughter. He laments that poor Isabella and especially poor Miss Taylor have married and live away from him. He is a found father and found grandfather who did not remarry when his wife died. Instead, he bought in Miss Taylor to educate his daughters and become part of the family because he is generous and well mannered. His neighbor accommodate him when they can. Isabella Knightley. She is the elder sister of Emma by 7 years and daughter of Henry. She is married to John Knightley. She lives in London with her husband and their 5 children. Henry, Little John, Bella, Little Emma, and George are the children of John Knightley. John Knightley, he is Isabella's husband and George's younger brother. He is 31-year-old. He is an attorney by profession. Like the other raised in the area, he is a friend of Jane Fairfax. He greatly enjoys the company of his family, including his brother and his Woodhouse in-laws, but is not a very social sort of man. Theme of the novel. The novel focuses on marriage, law, money, class consciousness, but the main theme is marriage and social status. People of that time looked the social status before marriage. Mostly they marries to a high status person to improve their status and lifestyle. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe.